questions by and president and so so far so good dear why here for the past 8 months.
Yeah, the kind of mention what's here for. Namenkase was a very good and very refreshing encounter yesterday. The Ubenya president was availing himself to the people of this country. Said, I've been in power for 8 months. May afford you the opportunity to ask questions. And I mean, so the mayor clarify just to. Unse there be a catch us a governance and yabosom and then Grufobia question them equaya ye babontia. Then you need to drag the people along.
Yeah.
Everything that is happening beyond, people must know, people must understand, and people must be part of whatever that is going on. And see, mine now, create some sort of a shield be around you, and people don't see what is going within. People begin to speculate. When people begin to speculate, cynicism, especially build it, now develop it into propaganda. Won't be in control because you are not giving out information. Yeah. And one of the strengths of President Mahama is communication. It is a way a president you don't sit down for some of these things ever told. You leverage that particular potential now. I bet me I'm our advantage. I'll bet me a church and say more because on your be you beside a question about say we make a friend minister man because you could see clearly this is a gentleman who is on top of almost all the issues because he's part of it, he understands it, and he's able to dish out questions, sometimes very detailed answers to. I clarify a lot of things. I think it's one of the best things in recent time. I think that is good because you see, all your campaign, not Ghana for a concern about say because you call almost 3 to 4 good years. Now President Akufo-Addo availing the home. For media encounter. Ya ne ba ho so not ya brochire any media for bisa no question ewa amanone. But man na otima odi so no he shut the door na Ghana for nya kwanya bisa no question because Nema na Ekoso at the time was so filthy to the extent I'm not sure say he could have defended himself. Is the reason why I shut it down. No? So President Mahama made a categorical promise to the people of this country. So obey transparent and be the people of Ghana no. Benya kwenya abisa question. So apart from say Enra, one of the campaign promises I was satisfying. It also a be door na Ghana for to see Nema Ekoso as to whether someone in the Bay and answer one in the Yadrin. That's a different thing. But the bottom line is that the door is open or media questions via Hobiano or Mubisano. But Enra said na Wusikana deba kwa na dominating in the questions has to do with accountability. Accountability in your government at the Fufrobia and the various individuals are in the last 8 years plunged this particular country into the abyss. The very people who leverage on political power at the board of minor chrono. There has been a lot of talk about because early stages of Mahama administration, that was when this aura came. And see the when I say na yakwa chiwe na gidi na ko bia na ya money bill na case na gu sa and na Ghana forward becoming increasingly frustrated say what is the way forward because it's 8 months down the line. I don't know kwa gidi hey na gu gidi hey na gu na attorney general press conferences upon press conferences and some okay can sometimes what in a while to utie bi kwa na obo yafu na whole lot of so Ghana forward very angry and getting frustrated because you see ade ba kwa ma Ghana for di lie so koto aba nyina yes enkrofo mo wiaye no ye no mo bedi na ya making sure say as a prisoner ye do mo beko na ya se agi esika aka ho because ye ntimi entena se emu oman by the virtue say obi anya akwanya say me minister me we and that open door for that particular person that we are yet kroma enim kwan fa say politics. It is not mainly based on merit some way be nipa no nimdia na say some way be about who you know, the alliances, the affiliation, who your friends are, and those kind of way na yede and you are careful, we might end up smuggling a lot of criminals in the name of this appointee as for and in the last 8 years that's exactly what happened. So yen to me metana ha and Ghana for akodi life so akoto abase yembra na yeme punish these people no then it becomes something else. Now I like it when President Mahama said say the omonya certain temporary relief na mum they will not go scot-free. I hope, sir, he will walk that particular line because one thing Ghanaians will never forgive Mahama government and they say failure to hold these people accountable. An Attorney General must also do everything that he can to inspire and engender confidence. Sabeya manfo abamumu because in recent times, social media, personal aura, they get a lot of clicks on social media. But any people be abamubu on the aura because they don't even know where it is going. So I think say you use this particular opportunity now you get Ghana for along because my culture say you see amamu siwa me fan say we amamu. Now what dream is a soldier for motwa ho ahia na ebo ho ban then won ti amamu ase e trust and confidence ameno ya repose e wa de weem and the ma ban di gina ho. So the very moment you see say citizens abamu bu and they are withdrawing their trust, they are withdrawing their confidence, and you know say you are endangering the prospect of democracy and the governance na what ho no. So encounter is very, very important. President Mahama took the opportunity to reaffirm his commitment to say or baba ya and make sure say nipa no modo mo nsa abo man sikam no aman no no bedi na no say na wa follow me in recent times. I've been doing some way be on scholarship secretariat na wo he ne ma akoso ha yetimi ma kwabrane scholarship na ono afa ne yire ne ma me yensa na o de aka ne yire ho na ya fa school nipa na ya man scholarship ne ya tamo mu nyina na ya twa plente kita mo aso omokobu UK na on monthly basis ye ti o ne yere ne maka me who be that there is no scholarship regime as anema we nyina akoso e wo ho. And the question is say a day in a state no ya fa ho eninti na enra wo hu say most of the questions ni nyina e border on oral accountability because you go to a point among for you a bit confused what is the way forward is government really committed. And now we see if question some now can hear about your friend saying some NDC people behind the scene trying to cut corners we are. You see, Nipan bet me wadamfo. But obi we are minor adamfo sem bia nim. And this is no time to be cutting corners. And you see, Ghana for do nanya akukodro to abati akufo ado yina ban firi because of corona na akoso se be ya ye be present na ya afford ye ho a certain opportunity and momentum and a certain will. Ye betime deal ruthlessly with these individuals because they came purposely to plunder this country and enrich themselves. That is why you a lot of millionaires who have sprung up from the MPP and they're bragging around because the whole governance almost set it up, was an avenue for people to enrich themselves, and that's exactly what they did. We cannot sit here and allow this culture to fester. That is why the conventional red lines must be established in the red sand. Sebeya manfo be who said, or minor, and ya ade da ho, ya ma wakwenya say ya be minister, and yes, a winning yansa achen obia, and then yes, a school or ko e bi near sasi we so, a privilege, and a dia president and ya mu, and to execute your functions. Benefit amount for in line with the welfare of the people. Apart from that, there is nothing. But Yahano and Yasana, the 2 million amount for Honor who are Homaswa Cassia Nipa would or wouldn't say, Madame for the Menino Crowd, they could deal for now on found few because what do different level. That kind of psycho mentality now. So I think we need to, you saw. Yen demonetize the political space. Ma manfo mu say enye avenue anase ade a ye de eko enriche ye ho. Na mom eye servitude ye de ba besom. And ade ba ko betimi ye de establish this particular thing. This particular ye fan say oral thing na. You be who say prosecution cause so. Attorney General has been talking a lot about this. Ye fan say prosecution now amount for negotiating pre-bargaining agreement as well. You see, yes, in line with law and as for but don't forget that particular pre-bargaining act was slaughtered into the constitution in 2022 even for an also the very people who have stolen from us, they knew the outcome, they ever see that, and then they made sure that the plea bargaining will be added to the criminal distance. And that is a window they created. Say, I told the idea. Now, I me banners and my best sabo camera, you know, me, we are corner say, you have a chimney, my castle, oh, don't worry, camera, me for with them, the two, baba, namunjamia. This kind of nonsense, you understand that? And it is not deterring enough. May the criminal justice system should be deterring enough to deter further engagement. Prison, the most important thing in a man's life is the freedom. So when that freedom is curtailed, that is taken away, it should serve as a deterrent to others. That is why you punish a crime. So we cannot just be running around this plea bargaining. You are creating enough incentive and motivation for others to come and steal. You understand? So I think that we need to navigate this particular storm in a very pragmatic manner, because first, 1990 and Ghana 14, they didn't even know what was happening within the government space. First, we better not use can because I brought for Boma or be or confused, not born in someone, because they were marking people how fluent and eloquent they were by then. I am telling you that the average and the ordinary Ghanaian is part of the politics. They have inserted themselves. They are asking a lot of critical questions. The why. They want answers. If you are unable to satisfy them with the whys now, or back at out, you understand? So government must always navigate through this particular stormy circumstances by having in mind the wishes and aspirations of the people who voted, because people behind them, they are navigating. They set the stage and the agenda, everything for the government. And you know what? Who's on your way now? What disconnect? Hona, obese omina manya by mena meya de mepa. You become lonely because that na me catch likeufado by makola made omontuma se hono nam so. Na no because they first say ajem kwa boba be se we. The last year, no, because Okofa Makolanke, Matugu, so born on the same person. No, what is the difference? The last time now, Akufa no Bekon, or ye mistake of Makola, and can mad the tomatoes in to man bono. Because was so minor boo, but this gentleman was the darling boy of the same people. What has changed? And the 2 million just to make sure so the bayard papa, Abrababoni or the boy in tea. So it is a lesson. I think that every single politician should learn. Say, and I think that is what we should do. So President Mahama, what he did, for me, I think that good. We're sure Ghana for. We are watching, see how things will play out. And on the your friend saying, Galam say, yes, I agree with him. Say, the distraction has gone on for almost 8-9 good years. Yes. You cannot use 6 months, not 8 months to stop it because magic na yeah. And they say, I think that. The baseline that has been established thus far, not any deterrent enough, is the reason why some people still feel emboldened say they can go. Because Galam say now by say MPP for free this year na yaba enti yenso Ghana who join news almost what capture about 400 excavators amanfo eyi na najo e port. That is a reporter details in Yamabontin. So if all these things are true, I think government will have to establish this particular way. But Sagalam say no, I no go area. People who think that yanso buying aba and yanso no, we need to stop these things because I know the destructive nature of these enterprises, on the life of Ghana for the priority not to go to the best saying soon and so forth. So I think social media and so forth. People are asking questions about Galamsey because in as much as me within 8 months, I think the government is doing something because land minister he did something very important by making sure say act na abaya very controversial or no sorry for acting that come age say repeal because that was one of the promises that President Mahama made to the people of this country. So I think that is a credit and it tells you that the land minister and government are willing to stop this. Your friends have and I think that is a good start. Sometimes all fight corruption and all fighting the most important thing are your commitments and the willingness to do certain things, and I think they have demonstrated it a bit. Say yes, they are ready to fight Galamsey because the same Galamsey so unfortunately you sacrifice about your friends have 4 great 7 or 8. Yes, great men. So, if there is something that we can do to honor their memory, it is stopping this nonsense. And I think President Mahama, beyond the rhetoric, will have to, your friends, man up and make sure stringent and very, biting, tough measures. We ever stopping all these things. And yes, Kasano there. I'm not sure it will solve anything.
Solo.
Yeah, Cronto.
Now, where there?
Yamia, any day, Acadia John de Becahua. If you pay. Allow the John.
Papa could be your frame. Nasa may you decline can. Was in Yami wine now for me. I got a John Mamma the vessel. Okay, and then Yami said, who ye dear not to say. And only idea decline when you pay Wabra Buma. One more day, I can't hold never, but the beer go for the issue. Oh, anyway, so maybe years ago. We are anyway, when we did free. Okay, yeah, started with media encounter with President Enra.
I just sent me and go in St. Cobanco for Peso Motiano. Corruption and galamsey. These are the two key issues. If you say Ghana for a dome, now in some here, it is a Abawe Nura Mama di Diagro. Because let me tell you, and this is the Ghana for Konosao. BP that be good when you say, what is here so much. And at that time, Ghana for any alternative before the first time I who say, I sorry, I offend the Catholic Church down in Accra. It will be a demonstration, prayer, a demonstration of the empire boy. Say, oh, my penny, apart from Yamin, Tramuka, some more, now yes, sense, and okay, Okroma.
Make I.
It didn't ya goody. Ebio operation recover all to Sika, we are and your Mekanwana Ghana for who say any animal Tikrumha, Ubuya Sika. I just be a DSU. Into Momrana Menima. These were the two key issues at Edurama by. It is all partners as an human one handler. One I would dig hey woman. A drop and politicians must understand that be being will make yourself win election than to perform. Than to respect contracts, social contract out there. Timem for say me ba me shop me say oba so ye. I don't think corruption. Me Attorney General start here. Me one of the pillars and I'm a born a basopa say Odinka be ye press conference ye do dia to ya na ye hu say ye koni say afi watiada a country represent I would ne did ba ku bi shefi ya de ba ayede akuturi
aye I know the wo na onti bi amudi ya
me de pa why ya dey beautiful edubo ahede ya odi aba what the national service for the aba what the Ghana Bruni my friends Mustafa Ahmed was the color atoso onko NBA na the color na nyakura na tuntun pa and atoso what did the aba to say o ma bogana krono in fact national service squad your share say by end of July o do mbeko as Libya NBA dey ko Sram, so it became a source of worry. Now, some we are Kenya opposition for like opposition here. Say any MB before what we are the somebody can be over there. Now, on one party for they are so worried. Day and day, Musu. So they are unable to even go back to or more fear to go and tell them say. And some now kind of opposition, that is what is confronting them. And no pressure. And a mafifi say people are cutting deals, and because as a general secretary of the party office, they be a complaints here. And some are showing evidence. It Jacobasa and the bride Abem. Tibifi say Yasema. Any say a cross will be a mind so with the agro. I said it and I say, oh, my penny, mama, the money. Like Sharaf near they have more years ahead of them. Now, they be I am the Kwame Nkrumah, a example say, Sabia Yaban Nkrumah, there was no one could make me win your moral city, a dear brother no Aboro Nkrumah. To even become the chairperson of CPP. Now, Nkrumah, I don't got a Casaberoti. But Moja Binti. Ne papa binti ne papa di binti otu ko ye MP for Jomoro akwa also Nkrumah banwa obi ato aba en block
Nkrumah na ne wo mutirim
that is it and no more of the family by CPP. So President Mahama has that duty to protect their children and don't he the tribu fine Ebia o ye ne de na fam dia so mampadi. But essence on to me ngo ba bia tirade nkofo sisi ho. You must be ready to hire and fire. Me o appoint to obi 1 week no nya adwuma pam no, uni obi any contract. So they better on one senior. There is no way you must pamper anybody. Essence that you for home. So munya 10 or manga on you are. I'm telling you, let's say 2024. Every baby on Kobe, no more tite. Tita no more be remember Krum. It was so difficult. And conform on the t-shirt mom. What they were doing is say, almost sharing this Saturday or form. Almost Tita could do rally grass on my Saturday. Every video go so. Oh, yeah, Jessica, I know what you first. That was what was happening. Not just any braba. Yet the Encasa put your show, your party, your being, and your cry belonge. Let's share video. Are you with me?
Yeah.
On tackle corruption. Confo Bia Isika, National Scholarship Secretariat. Ekufado ye nyoma mienu bia, no dey protect chrono no mabo. And people must be clear with it. Number 1, opake court. So the body court here the court.
Yeah.
Court ka say wa je body say jao.
Yeah, be jao.
Owie ye no, ado san so de other Ivan Ekano. The amendment of the Act 1079 by criminal and other related offences or be amended in the federal pre-bargain. June 27th, I know the coy. But July 22, no, I pass. I know the same move. Say, Moody Munko, we are men, not check some friend the law.
Now you are based on that.
What you say?
Yeah.
And you Munko, we are making sure 60% with the baby. Edu the idea near Combo. How is it said to beat Mahama ECG? Up to now, committee be friend. Now you do say ECG, Cronwalk or so. How is this a Fenio Marcus as a board chair? Kali Gajapo, Omuyayan Frelmo. I will be joking in this country. No amount of semantics for which you are saying, we are. Thomas Penny Mama, you must act. Yes, Andrew, it was reassurance or Casse. Investigation Biano. Yes, but let me tell my Penny say. Me cost you na me go help boy. I'm not interested in going to our country say. Yes, she said game room for my children. You better go. The minimum say board at net in him. Support that you be benefit out of. Aye. The minimum say go na me fefe. Yeah. Enti ehono. And Manenko yes the general secretary says that people are cutting deals, which some of us know that is happening. Now, I don't have frustrating process, you know, at the end of the day, because the second coming, he must go home with a legacy. So, Oba, you know, Ghana for some man, second chance, you know, one farmer media grow. Now, go for a good way to be good anymore. He's also not lucky because the point is that I just cry, and this is an internal premise. I can't compare Omu leader, so to say. And the people are of the view that, yes, he can go. Now, you have go elections. If you have such mentalities as Uncle Foro, they will try to want to cut deals to get money for this task ahead. Now, they are all to a man and in your day. And now, on the question of